Welcome to episode 247 of the GonnaGeek.com show. In this episode, we talk about how Chris is upgrading his TV for Dolby Vision, how there are now 3D color X-rays, and how Apple has your emoji game covered. We also run down our Prime Day experience, plus we pour one out for Skype 7. This and more in this week's show.
I'm Cody from Game Life Balance US, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other geeky podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
This is the official GonnaGeek.com show. Here we're a bunch of geeks talking about geeky things. Each week we run down the latest news and happenings in the world of geek. These are your hosts for the show, Steven.
But what if I'm in the mood for a T-Swift story?
Chris.
I've heard the X is going to give it to you.
And SP.
That's how we roll on Gonna Geek on Monday night. We get crazy!
Gonna Geek Productions presents the official GonnaGeek.com show.
An all-new episode of the official GonnaGeek.com show. I am Steven Jondra, and with me, of course, is Chris Farrell.
Hi, guys. I'm Crit.
We also have joining us, of course, Stargate Pioneer.
Where? Oh,
he's behind you, yes. He's absolutely behind you. By the way, if you're not familiar with us, we do usually stream this live on Mondays at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5:45 p.m. Pacific Time. If you want to check us out live, you can watch us make all sorts of mistakes, all sorts of troubles. We can just light our computers on fire while we record.
This is accurate. Sometimes it does feel like my computer is in the depths of hell.
So it is Monday, July 16th today, and today is Amazon Prime Day. So there's your little tease for the segment today. We'll get to that in a bit. But we hope that your Prime Day went well and that you got to spend the holiday with all of your loved ones. It's a holiday now, right?
I wish I got the day off.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move into the news. Here we go. This first news article comes from something that I'm not too familiar with. I've heard of these people before in this service. It's something called Skype by me.
Skype.
Oh, Skype
by Skype.
That's right, Skype by Microsoft. So that's a foreign company. But yes,
yeah.
Apparently this company has this service called Skype. Oh, that's what it is, Skype. And okay, joking aside, yes, Microsoft has updated Skype. They have put out an announcement today that they are rolling out a new version of Skype 8.0. Now, Skype 8.0 is the desktop version of Skype. So let's back up here a minute because there's a little bit of backstory that you need when it comes to Skype. Well, guess what? There was a time where there was only one version of Skype. You would just go down to Skype on the website, you would download it, you'd be ready to go and rocking. And then they went, well, you know what? We like Windows apps. So what will we do? We'll make a Windows app version of Skype. And they went all in on the Windows app version. In fact, they ended up calling the regular program version of Skype, Skype Classic. That's what it's been branded as for years. And they've only implemented a lot of new features into the app version of Skype. Well, guess what? They have apparently recanted on that a little bit because they have put out a new version of Skype 8 today, which is a fully refreshed version of the Skype desktop app. Not the app, the desktop program. And in this, they are saying, we are encouraging everyone to upgrade now to avoid inconvenience as only Skype version 8 will work after September 1st, 2018. As we roll out improvements, there comes a time when we must shut down older services and application versions. This is done to ensure that all customers have the best possible Skype experience. And then they continue to go on. So the long story short is there's this brand new version of Skype that is out. Apparently, there was an earlier version of 8 that did come out a while ago that some people could get, but some people couldn't, because whenever you tried to download Skype Classic for a long time there, they would say, hey, our installer is compromised, so you can't get it. Use the app. So there has been a version of this around for a while. Today, I went and installed it and had to roll back because it doesn't work properly with the. We use Skype for the show. Yeah, if you've watched the video side of the show, we actually use Skype to connect, and there is a compatibility problem at this time with the software that I use called XSplit. So we're gonna have to look into this further. But yes, there's a whole new version of Skype. And after September 1st, if you've been holding on to the past, you're not going to be able to do so anymore. Should I just quickly read through some of these new features that they're boasting with this version of Skype?
Sure.
Does it integrate with Twitter? Because I need that in my life.
Well,
no, I really don't.
It doesn't have that, but the good news for you is this is what they're billing as a new feature, is free HD video and screen sharing calls.
Don't we have that already?
That's what I thought, but it's under the new features. We also have more productive messaging. Express how you're feeling by reacting to messages in conversations. Use @mentions to easily grab someone's attention in a group chat. Simply type the @ symbol followed by their name to trigger a notification for them. You've also got a chat media gallery. Looking for the link or photo sent a few weeks ago? Chat Media Gallery makes it easy to find files, links, and photos that were shared in a conversation. And then this is a neat feature that I think is they are making it so that you can instantly share photos, videos, and other files up to 300 megabytes over Skype just by dragging it onto them. So that's great because it is something that like email's restricted to like 30 megs with Gmail. So I think that is a good messaging feature to have.
But there didn't used to be a limit on file sizes in Skype.
See, I got the hint that there was kind of like a you didn't have to be online thing. That was the way I read that, but maybe it's wishful thinking.
Because I used to send large files over Skype all the time, and then they changed that so that you couldn't do anything more than like 300 megabytes.
That was for progress.
I'm like, well,
yeah, I'm not sure.
Doesn't help me any.
Yeah.
I am interested to see what happens with this. There is a feature that for those of us who use Skype for the purpose that we do right now is supposed to be coming. It's something called NDI, which is essentially something that will hook nicely into my video switching software. It's not on this yet. I don't know why it's not on this because they've been beta testing it for months. I think the current version is 8.25, and in the preview versions, they had it since 8.23. So obviously only people who are part of the preview program are seeing it because I'm not getting it. Mm-hmm. That will actually solve the problem that I had mentioned.
There's a few things that I feel like are missing that they've mentioned. NDI is one of those things that they said, oh yeah, this will be publicly available by summer or during summer or around the summertime. And you know what? I'm not hearing a whole lot about it. Second thing that I've noticed is in this new version, they said that there's read receipts now for messages.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily care for that. And one of the articles said, oh, yes, you can turn that off if you go to settings, privacy. Well, I did that. There is no setting for turning it off.
Their settings, okay, in the 20 minutes I had it installed, their settings is a joke. It's a complete joke. If you go and you look at screenshots, they don't match what's there now. They're a very basic menu. And I get why they're doing it because there was so much crap in the old version of Skype settings. It was really hard to navigate. So I get why they're trying to simplify it, but it's just too simple. There's an earlier version that you can see from a couple ago that offered more options, but was a lot more thorough than what's there now.
But just the design of it too, I think is confusing. It's simple, but it's also confusing because the way they have it sectioned out, I don't think the sections are as defined as they should be. I find it a little bit difficult to actually navigate and understand what section I'm actually looking at and where some of these options are that I'm used to.
Well, and not only that, but if you actually click on your profile picture, there's a whole other set of settings than the main settings icon. It's really bizarre. And I briefly tried the call feature. I'm not sure I like the overlay. That might be a problem for some of us who use it currently. So we might be really hoping for NDI or moving off of Skype.
Can I show you one of my biggest pet peeves with this application right now?
Sure. Go ahead and make sure you explain, though. You got to explain for the audio listener.
Okay, I'm going to move my camera around so that you can see my monitor, because I have Skype on a second monitor now.
We can't show that on the stream. Whoa. Close that
It's
window.
not all lollipops.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, good.
And when I do video podcasts like this, I have Skype open on a second monitor so that I can see the return feed. So I'm going to go ahead and swing around and show you what I'm looking at here on my monitor. So that's my monitor. You're going to get a little infinity mirror effect. But I don't know if you can tell, the sides are cut off. The left and right sides are cut off a lot. Not just a little, but a lot.
I see that.
So,
that's very bizarre.
I don't understand why they are resizing the video the way it is. They're resizing or scaling the video height-wise rather than width-wise. So if you have a 16:9 video like what we're doing right now, well, the left and right sides are cut off when you're full screen like this.
Which should be super awesome for screen sharing, right? Because 16:9 is monitor resolution now. So it's hopefully they'll fix that, because I think a lot of people didn't have 8. I know it's been out. There has been a version of 8 floating around for a while because I've heard of this thing, but I think it kind of got pulled back a while ago because
Hold on a minute, I have to react to this chat.
When I ended up reinstalling my computer a few weeks ago, I went over to the website and they had the installer back, and I downloaded it from their website right from Skype, and it was version 7. So I don't really know what's been going on, but I've heard of people talk about the updated Skype. I never got my hands on it, so I'm completely confused of this whole thing. Whatever. There's a lot of weird things with Skype, and I guess we'll just have to live with it and move off if it doesn't work for us. Again, if they did NDI, it's going to, I think, solve quite a few issues, but those of you who don't know what NDI is, then it's fair, because NDI is something that a lot of people don't know about.
NDI and Skype is going to be a game changer, period.
If it works.
If it works and works as we want it to work. Because remember, NDI is essentially... Okay, so now we're going to enlighten everybody that's watching and listening. NDI is essentially a way to send video. It's a virtual cable, so to speak. So what it does is it ends up sending through this specific protocol, very, very low latency, where usually you might have a cable plugged into like a camera, and then that other end would go into your mixer or your computer. This is what's called NDI, and essentially it's just a network protocol. And because it's just a network protocol, we don't know what it's going to do. For all we know, it's just going to be terrible and just, display everything that you see on the Skype window, which would be terrible for those of us who want to use Skype in this fashion. But if anybody has any thoughts on NDI, if you've played with it with Skype, please get in touch with us, because we'd love to talk about it on this show.
One thing that I saw earlier today regarding the Skype topic is that Skype is coming out with video recording built in.
Yes, that is something that they did advertise. They had a few features of basically upcoming features. One of them that they had was, of course, the read receipts was listed as an upcoming feature, a private conversation feature, so you can have end-to-end encrypted Skype audio, i.e. sexting. You can also have the...
Ooh, I'm in then.
There's also the call recording that Suncast mentioned. Profile invites. Easily start a conversation or call with people who aren't on Skype yet. Simply go to your profile in Skype and tap the share profile option to invite friends to join you on Skype, and then group links. So that will also be a good feature. If you did want to go ahead and make a group for a group call or chat, then you can just send somebody that link. I think that would be a really good option, rather than, how it is now where you got to friend somebody or add them and then call them in. So that's an interesting feature, but I suppose we'll see how much of that happens, because NDI isn't listed on there as an upcoming feature, and we don't have it now. So promises are not kept with Microsoft, as we know. But there is one thing, though, that is like clearly the best update to Skype. And as you know, we've all grown to love the various sounds on Skype for how many years? Well, guess what? Here's a little taste of what you might get if you update to Skype.
It's so peppy.
Yeah, that's right. They updated their standard Skype call feature, and now it sounds like you're, I don't know, at an EDM dance festival or something.
Are we going to the
That's weird.
discotheque tonight?
But seriously, if you're updated to Skype, if you like it, if you hate it, get in touch with us through any of the ways. We'd love to know what you think. Just head on over to gonnageek.com. Now, Chris, what's next on the news here?
So let's talk about something Microsoft did get right. And I'm saying this a lot more and more lately is it's in regards to the Xbox One. So you guys do know part of the reason I have an Xbox One X in my theaters because I wanted to be able to play 4K games and to watch 4K Blu-rays. And I just bought a new TV recently. It had HDR10 capability in it. I hadn't had to worry too much about Dolby Vision, which sadly my TV doesn't have. But Microsoft just announced this week they're going to be adding support for Dolby Vision high dynamic range to the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S. Those are the two consoles that are selling right now. This is kind of a big deal. This is the other HDR standard that's out there, one that is arguably better than the existing HDR10 standard that everyone else uses. Originally, this was just going to be for streaming services such as Netflix, but Microsoft did double down and reveal that Dolby Vision support is going to be expanded to cover the 4K Blu-ray drives. So all of your 4K Blu-ray discs that you have will play in Dolby Vision HDR. It's a huge, huge move. It will be coming in the fall update for your Xbox One X and S devices. And if you have a TV that is Dolby Vision capable, you're probably really excited right now. If you're like me, who didn't buy a TV with Dolby Vision because not much stuff supported it, you're going, crap. But don't be too upset. You still got something that's going to give you an HDR signal. And Microsoft has not at this point said whether this is going to extend to games or not. So keep your eyes open and your ears open. Eventually, they might push this Dolby Vision update out for gaming. It is possible because there are a few PC titles out there that do support Dolby Vision HDR. However, nothing official game-wise yet for Xbox. But still, this is a big move by Microsoft. It continues to show that they're wanting to follow their original vision of the Xbox One, which was make it the center of your home theater. I mean, you look at what it does now. You do 4K gaming natively. You can do 4K streaming. You can do Dolby Atmos sound on things. You can do Dolby Vision HDR. You can do HDR10 version of HDR. This box will play almost any media that you throw at it right now. So from a cord cutter perspective or from a person who just wants to enrich their home theater and make it a little bit better, it's pretty dang interesting. I think it's a smart move, and I'm curious to see how well it pays off for them in the long term and whether this is something they decide to roll in to their next hardware revision of the Xbox One. Because remember, there's rumors we're another year to 2 years out from new hardware from both Sony and Microsoft. And of course, the other thing I'm curious is what is Sony's response going to be for this? Because Microsoft's kind of ahead of them when it comes to the features they're packing into the boxes now with having both Dolby Vision, HDR10, Dolby Atmos sound, things like that. You don't get that on a PlayStation 4 right now. So I'm very curious to see what Sony does in response. But guys, this is huge. I'm super excited. I'm part of a niche group that's really excited, I imagine. But I almost want a new TV, but there's no reason for me to invest in one just for a slightly different HDR standard.
I will say that when I did see this, I actually grabbed it to use as my news point for today, even though it doesn't affect me at all because I don't have an Xbox, I don't have a good TV, I don't have any of that stuff. But it was very interesting to me to see them continue to push this standard, or not a standard, but to keep pushing the standard that they're offering of audio and video and whatnot. Like you talked before about how the Dolby Atmos was a game changer for you, right? So this is just another thing that you are obviously going to upgrade your equipment for.
Yeah, no, I'm not buying a new TV for this. It's something I wish I'd been a little more forward thinking and considered coming. But when I was doing my research, it was, hey, Dolby Vision's the other standard. Most things are doing just traditional HDR10. And I went, okay, I'm not super worried about spending the extra. It would have been $500 for the next model TV that supported it. That's still a hard sell for me.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you'll prove yourself wrong in about a year's time. We know you.
Well,
we all
Steven,
know you pretty well.
If you give me my pay raise, I'll be very happy to purchase a new TV and talk about it on the Gonna Geek Show.
So what? Like I pay you 1 cent a year instead of nothing, and then you'll buy it? Okay, I'll give you 1 cent a year if it gets you a new TV.
It's got to be a little bit more than that.
Suncast, what's your thoughts on this?
I don't know, because in some ways I don't really care because it's Xbox and I don't have one. So what am I supposed to do? But on the other hand, I think in a way we're seeing a resurgence of the home theater, especially with newer technologies out there. And I think that's kind of what's at play here, is that Microsoft is kind of seeing this, and well, Microsoft being Microsoft, sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. Luckily, they've been getting it more right than wrong for Xbox lately. And I think with the newer technology that we have out there, a lot of people are definitely upping their game and building out new home theaters.
Yeah, I think that it's probably resurging because the quality has had a big push for a long time. We went to Blu-ray, and that was the biggest change that we saw for so long. Like, yes, there was 7.1, there was other random things, but you never really heard the major change or felt the change or any of these changes. Now, with all of these new standards, you are starting to actually get that different experience, which is why I think there's a resurgence. So I'm excited for it. It's still like out of my range of what I can afford, but you know, the more people that do get it, the earlier that this comes out, then eventually be affordable for people like me. Eventually.
Well, and the thing you have here is they're behind right now. Arguably, PlayStation 4 could be potentially selling twice as many consoles as them right now. So they're trying to pull out all the stops to come and do different things to attract people to be more interested in their console. And if this is the act of a desperate Microsoft, I'm kind of okay with it, because they've been pulling some real rabbits out of their hats that really work for the Xbox right now. I'm really excited about the direction of this platform and what it means for their next gen one.
Yeah. Time will tell. All right, well, let's go ahead and hear from Suncast about why he, for some reason, is really into 3D color X-rays. I don't think I even want to know what that's about. I'll use my imagination.
3D?
Use my imagination on that one.
Actually, that would be kind of cool. I think so. So this is actually very interesting. So we now have the world's first 3D color X-rays. Everybody's used to going to the doctor, getting X-rays, and you just see this film and this white splotchy stuff, and you're just you're not really sure what exactly you're looking at if you really don't know bone structure and all that stuff. But this is really cool. A New Zealand company has generated the first 3D color X-ray images of the human body by using an advanced medical scanner. Now, the scanner utilizes CERN's Minipix 3 technology, and it has been in development for about a decade. It's able to produce high-resolution images thanks to particle tracking technology. So Minipix chips work like a camera. They identify individual subatomic particles that make contact with pixels while the electronic shutter is open. Now, according to Professor Phil Butler, one of the Mars Bioimaging Limited scientists who built the scanner, the Minipix 3 chip is what could give them an advantage in medical diagnosis. It's small pixels and accurate energy resolution means that this new imaging tool is able to get images that no other imaging tool can achieve. So by combining the chip's spectroscopic information with algorithms, the Mars scientists were able to create 3D color images that can distinguish clearly between fat, water, and disease markers. Now, a smaller version of the 3D scanner that's been used for studying cancer and vascular diseases is already yielding promising results. And thanks to the licensing agreements between CERN and Mars, the technology will be commercialized. So the scanner right now is being used for the world's first clinical trials involving rheumatology and orthopedic patients in forthcoming months. This is pretty cool stuff, guys. I don't know if you saw the imaging that they posted that goes along with this, and it's just like, wow, that's kind of fascinating that they were able to take this X-ray and have the details that they have with it.
Chris, did you see this?
I'm actually pulling it up right now as we're talking and looking at it. I'm like, man, this is really cool.
Yeah, I think that it's fantastic to see such an evolution in X-rays. And you're right. Like, you go in it and what you see at the doctor's office, what you see there is everything that you've seen since you've been a kid, right? Like it's not changed.
And that technology has basically existed for, like 60, 70 years at this point now, however long it's been. It's been unchanged really in the detail and what you can actually get out of that kind of imaging.
Absolutely, because otherwise you got to go in for like a CT scan or an MRI, and I don't know about there, but a big wait list for both of those here. They're overcrowded, and a lot of times the doctors, in my experience, they're just looking for something that the regular X-ray just can't show, but this extra level of depth might give them what they need. And I think, plus, let's be honest, the radioactivity is the best part about X-rays, because then we all become Spider-Man. That's true. But no, I think this is really cool. And I think this is a great article that you found. If people want to check this out, they can go ahead and head on over to geeks.link/3D X-ray. We'll make it easier. I was going to do something bad, but we'll go geeks.link/3D X-ray. And you can see that out there and look at what Suncast found for you and picture your own organs being 3D X-rayed.
I can feel them being X-rayed right now.
That's just my vision.
That's going to really create an interesting porn business. I'm sure Pornhub's going to capitalize on that.
Oh.
Well, moving on to the extra section here. Let's talk a little bit about Apple because, well, it's Apple. Apple they're revolutionary. They always have the courage. They're willing to do what it takes to make the important things happen. And that's why today I am pleased to sit before you and tell you that Apple is adding 80 new emojis to iOS 12. That's right. Ahead of World Emoji Day, Apple just shared the latest details about new emojis that are coming to iOS later this year. More than 70 new characters, including emojis for bald people, redheads, and those that have gone gray, were created based on previously approved characters. New animals will be added too, including a kangaroo, a parrot, that's for JS, a lobster, as well as a handful of other food options like a head of lettuce, a mango, a cupcake, and a mooncake. So lots of updates coming to iOS 12 that are very important. I just can't wait to see which of these vegetables are the new eggplant, if you get my drift.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I cannot even describe how much I care.
Aren't you so sad that you won't have these because you and me are just lowly Android users?
I have an iPad. I can send you them through Hangouts chat on my iPad. You can get the new eggplant from me, Stephen. I'll send you the new eggplant.
Suncast, you must be all sorts of excited for this. I know you're all about the emojis. You were about the Snapchat glasses, and now it's about the emojis, right?
I hope it has lollipops.
Like these.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't.
Lollipops.
I guess it's a thing. It's as someone who is going gray, I should be very appreciative of Apple's inclusion of me. So there you go. Thank you very much, Apple, for representing us gray people. We really, really appreciate that.
Where's the bald dude representation, though?
Didn't I just say that they're also including emojis for bald people? Yep, definitely said that.
I'm just double checking.
Yeah, just double checking
you.
Well, the thing was, they actually said that they're called the Chris Farrell emojis, and then as
it should be.
Yeah, I had to translate it for the news point.
So there better be bald emojis with beards, otherwise I will feel left out. You hear that, Apple? Don't let me feel left out. I'll cry on Twitter just like everyone else when I feel left out.
Also in the extra section here, Google Chrome's actually adding something that might be useful to certain people, and it is a heavy page capping feature. That's right. What this is a feature that's going to be added to both mobile as well as the desktop versions of Chrome, and it's going to allow you to be alerted when a website is using heavy data. By having this feature turned on, which by default it is disabled, there's going to be some options for you in there, but the default setting is going to alert you anytime more than 1 megabyte is used by a web page. I think 1 megabyte is a little low myself. That's what I think. I think 1's a little bit low just because website pictures A lot of times there's quite a few on there, and that can easily go over one. But I think that this is a great concept and one that some people will definitely use.
I think it's more important for mobile. I don't care on my desktop computers or my tablet that I run on Wi-Fi in the house, but I might care a little bit more when I'm out in the world and I'm on my LTE connection, where some people might not have unlimited. They're capped at, say, 3 gigs of data or something like that. I kind of like the thought there that I would know if something is chewing data in the background. So I see promise for it there, but I would never turn this feature on at home.
No, I think desktop's a questionable place to have it, but with things like tablets that do generally run on the desktop version, I see why they're putting it in here. I definitely understand that reason why. Suncast, would you use this?
I don't know. Probably not.
It's because you don't care about data with all of your Pokemon going. You've got unlimited plans. We know that.
Well, it's just I'm questioning how useful this actually will be. If you're not somebody that's usually using the Chrome browser regularly, are you going to still see those notifications? Is it really only for when you're using the Chrome browser on your phone? And a lot of times I'm doing so much other stuff on my phone besides just using a browser.
I'm going to go ahead and make some websites that just use all of your data. I'll do that, and then you'll be wishing you had this feature on.
StevensBandwidthGobbler.com. That's what we're going to call it.
Not registering that, so go ahead. If you want to register that now, go ahead and redirect that to pictures of me and Suncast in compromising positions.
No, it's just going to be pictures you guys doing a thumbs up.
And finally, in our extra section here, let's just go ahead and close it off with Microsoft as well. Microsoft earlier this week announced that they are going to be stopping what is called Delta updates. Obviously, that's to do with the Delta Quadrant. Isn't that right?
That's true. Voyager specifically.
Yes. No, the Delta updates are a classification of type of updates. So Microsoft has a few different types of updates. They have a full update, they have an express update, and they have a Delta update. Delta and express updates are very similar, but the main difference between a Delta update and an express update is that generally an express update is smaller in size, as they just patch individual files rather than a full component. Apparently a Delta update more so refreshed entire components. So this is something that Microsoft has been supporting 3 different versions of Windows updates for a while, and I guess it would depend on what was on your computer or what you were going from and what you were going to, depending on would basically determine which update you received. And now they're saying that they're removing this what's called Delta update. The reason I wanted to bring this up was twofold. Number one, why the hell have they been supporting something so similar for so long? And number two, let's be honest. Anytime you hear about Microsoft streamlining their update process, it's a good thing, because Microsoft's updates have been so terrible since Windows 10. I'm going to say it, like Windows 10 has been easily the worst updates in all of the history of Microsoft. So I'm happy to see them streamlining this. I'm hoping it makes a difference and it maybe gives them some more time that they need to really refine things and make it work better, because I have been so frustrated with the Windows 10 update process. So to hell with Delta updates, I say. To hell with them.
Oh my. Those are some strong words.
For a Canadian, right?
But it's interesting because, you know what, Delta updates and Express updates were essentially doing practically the same thing. So it's like, I don't understand why they kind of had both at the same time, and it seems like they're just favoring Express updates now. And Delta updates wasn't even something that was that old. They said they've had Delta updates for what, like a year and a half?
I don't get it. It's another example on questionable Microsoft practices.
Yeah, absolutely.
I figure they're just pulling a Google. They're trying something new to see what sticks. If it seemed like this Express updates was working better than the legacy stuff, you might have seen them leaning more towards that. So with this whole Windows as a service model, they're trying new things and seeing what works best for supporting Windows 10.
Once again, we get to be guinea pigs.
Well, you got no choice. I mean, really, let's be honest. If you got no choice, I mean, most people aren't comfortable going to Linux, and most people are going to want to buy new hardware to go to Apple. So you got no choice.
Well, RIP Delta updates, we shall play you a song in your memory. That's right. We mentioned this. We recorded this on Monday, July 16th. That's what we do here, is record on Mondays. And today is definitely Prime Day. So if you are not familiar with Prime Day, well, what it is Amazon once a year tries to do this thing where they offer a bunch of exclusive deals throughout the day for Prime members. Usually the way this has worked is this has started somewhere in the middle of the night for most people and carried on until the next day, and it's been a whole day long event. Well, apparently this year they decided that they were going to change it to start at noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and then run for a day and a half after. A very odd thing to do considering they call it Prime Day. It really should be Prime Day and a half. I'm going to actually sue them for false advertising, but in the meantime, we'll call it Prime Day. So this is what we wanted to do, was really talk about some of the things that we saw on Prime Day. Now, full disclosure, it's only like 6.5 hours into Prime Day and a half as we record this. But fun fact, it's really more like 4 hours, because it started off as a total train wreck. Like, they have been advertising Prime Day forever, and US, Canada, I didn't check other countries, but in US and Canada, the website was broken for like an hour and a half, and that's not an exaggeration. You would see some stuff on there. In Canada, what I would see was a link that said, click here to view all the Prime deals. You click that, and it would take you to another button that would say, click here to view all the Prime details, and take you back to that first page. So it was just like this vicious circle. You would open up the app, and you would see their stupid 404, their wonderful 404 dog.
Was it a puppy for you?
There was, every time I opened that page, it was a whole new dog. It was a bunch
You
of
can't
different
stay
dogs.
mad at puppies, guys. You can't stay mad.
Why do you think they put a puppy on there? So that I wouldn't get mad. And
Because puppies are amazing.
So Prime Day had a bit of a shaky start, and then eventually it got going. Full disclosure, I don't actually think it's fully working right now. I've had a couple of groups of items come up saying that these items are on sale, 20% off, computer components or whatever. You click on that and it doesn't work fully.
Wait a minute, Steven. Do we have financial incentive in any of this?
Do I have financial incentive? No, I don't.
We got to make sure our disclosures are actually being put out there.
Yes, we are not affiliated with Amazon in any way, shape, or form. So please do not take our comments, be they pro or negative, about Amazon as being influenced by the company Amazon.com.
But hold on, if I was going to be a representative, wouldn't I have to stand up and yell at you all through the whole product placement? Wouldn't that what I have to do to work for Amazon?
That would make me feel really warm and fuzzy inside if you yelled at me the entire time.
And then walk away when I stop. Look at this Echo Dot. Walk off screen. But no, it was a very shaky start. So honestly, we're going to just highlight some of the things that we've seen so far and just talk a little bit about it, because there's probably going to be a couple other good deals that have come up. Well, quote unquote, good deals in comparison to everything else in the next, 24 hours. But I think, though, in reality, a lot of them were probably up front. So I want to start us off here and just say that a lot of the Echo products were on sale today. And if you missed out on this, because I know a lot of you are listening to this well after Prime Day, it's a shame, because there were some pretty good deals. In Canada, it's the cheapest that we've seen the Echo devices. The way that they're priced in Canada is the Echo Dot is usually $69. The Echo Regular is usually $129, and the Echo Plus is usually $199. They launched at the promo price of $39.99 and $169. Well, today they were $34 for a Dot, $89 for a regular Echo, and $134 for the Echo Plus, which includes a Philips Hue regular bulb, which so pretty good deal overall if you were looking for that sort of stuff. And I know you were saying, Chris, that there was some deals as well on the Echo stuff down there, right?
Yeah, pretty much all of the Amazon branded products, be them the Fire TVs, the Fire tablets, the Echo lines, they were all on sale, including also the Amazon Cloud Cam, which is something I considered a while ago for setting up inside my house. And had it been $60, which I think is what they're going for when I was putting cameras in my house, I probably would have gone that route. $60. It's a pretty great price for that.
Yeah.
I didn't pull the trigger though.
Let's talk about some things that we did pull the trigger on before we talk about some other categories. I'll start us off. I'll say that I bought myself a Fire Stick Basic for $29. I've been using the Apple TV Generation 3 for a while as a Netflix box, and it has been very aggravating lately trying to open up Netflix and get it going. It's taking a very long time. I have a Fire Stick Basic in our bedroom, and it works way faster. It responds a lot quicker. So I'm going to throw this in the living room, and it should give me everything that I need. Aside from that, I purchased some things for the kids. Won't talk about it on here because there's not really any point, but I haven't seen anything else that has made me pull the trigger. But I know, Chris, you did pull the trigger on a couple of things.
I did, but it's nothing really that crazy this time so far this year. I was going through all the deals when the website was working because I was having some trouble with it. And they had buried under the movies thing a 4K Blu-ray promo that was you could select a bunch of different ones and they'd be $15 each. So all I've really bought at this point so far is some 4K Blu-rays. And they've been ones I've had my eye on because they're things that are actually not upscaled to 4K. They've gone and done a remastering of the actual film and then put it in a 4K format. So I picked up all three of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies for $15 a piece in 4K. And if you remember those ones, Christopher Nolan did a lot of trickery with IMAX cameras and things like that, which I think could be gorgeous when presented in 4K. And then I also picked up the original Matrix in 4K because they went back to the film again for that one and started from scratch and redid it all. So these are all true, honest to goodness 4K, not upscaled from 1080p to 4K, but pure 4K. And they're ones I'd had my eye on for a while. So I'm curious to go and check those out. Now, the Matrix one, getting that for $15 was a steal because the cheapest I'd seen it was $22. The Nolan movies I'd only seen down at about $24. So for $14.99 each, not a bad deal. And I look forward to going back and rewatching some of these movies that I've really enjoyed with Dolby Atmos sound and 4K HDR visuals. Yes, I'm a home theater snob now, guys.
Well, we know that. We knew that you
That's
were
true.
a home theater snob. That's why we know that you're going to go ahead and upgrade your TV just for the other thing.
Only if I get my pay raise, Steven. Only then.
Well,
You didn't get it yet?
Nope, I didn't get it yet.
I'm going to send you 1 cent Canadian just to spite you because it will mean nothing down there.
Now I'm sad.
Yeah. So, okay, maybe we should not talk so much about things that we bought because Suncast, you didn't buy anything, right?
I didn't, but I told my parents about the Fire TV that they had deals on, and they ended up buying one that's for, I think they had down to $35 from, I think, normally $70. So I talked them into buying that because it's 4K and HDR and all that stuff. And all they have now is like a second gen or third generation Roku, which is like 6 years old at this point. I'm like, this is a really good deal.
Yeah, that is a good deal. In Canada, they've only given us Fire Stick Basic. I don't know why they haven't done the other ones up here, but so that's why mine was only $29.
I'm still very much tempted to go for a Fire TV stick because they're on sale right now for $20, and I only have a first generation Fire TV right now for myself. And it's kind of hard to pass up $20 for a stick that is basically the same or better than what I have now.
Yeah, and they are very enticing offers if you've been looking at these Amazon products. Even the Nest camera, doorbell camera, was on for a pretty good price right now.
That was the Ring. It was by Ring.
Sorry, Ring. Yeah, not Nest.
Because
Wow.
Amazon bought Ring.
Yeah,
if I
sorry.
recall correctly.
I meant to say Ring Pro, and I think it was on for about half off up here. It was a pretty cheap deal.
I think it's $175 for the Ring Pro here. Now, they did put all of the Fire TV devices on sale. And the only reason I bring that up is I see that Mike in the chat room asked if the Fire TV Cube was any good. That one was discounted. I want to say down to $89.99, if I remember right. But really, the Fire TV Cube, if you already have Amazon Voice Services devices in your house, don't worry about it, because really all it is they merged a voice services device with the 4K Fire TV box and put them in one setup. And it's pretty cool, and it can control your TV and stuff through being an IR blaster that's built into it. But there's other stuff that'll do that. If all you're really looking for is a streaming box, just go the streaming box route. But if you're looking at the merged version of Amazon Voice Services and a streaming box, it's a cool little thing for $90. It's a bit more palatable than the regular price of what is it, like 120?
Yeah.
Something like that. So it's worth giving a try. Mike, I have not personally bought one because I've already littered my house with Amazon Voice Services devices. So there's absolutely no reason to. And I also use Roku's as my primary streamers because I like YouTube, and there's no YouTube on Amazon sticks or boxes. So I haven't.
Isn't there a way to get to it though?
You can use the browser.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use the browser and get to it, but it's not as clean as just hitting a button and you're on YouTube already logged in. You can go to your subscriptions and things like that. So it's kind of a kludgy workaround. Same problem they have with the the Echo Show. The same problem they have with that. So I'm hoping that eventually they mend fences, both Google and Amazon, and you start getting those services back on there. But right now, if I was recommending a box for someone, it would be a Roku, because YouTube is something I watch a lot of. And that's something that I can't do easily on Fire TV boxes. If YouTube's not your jam, the Fire TV is great.
I always just use the YouTube app and Chromecast when I want to YouTube. I just leave it hooked up to the TV. It's easier. I will say that I did pull up the information for the Ring Video Doorbell Pro, and it is on today for $173 Canadian, and it's regularly $299. So it's quite a substantial savings up here, and I was very, very tempted, but I feel like I should put my money towards a full camera setup.
I was tempted by that as well because it's $174.99 down here. The problem is the way my doorbell is situated on my front doorstep. I know this is a wide field of view, rather. It would give me a nice view of the post that holds up my front porch roof. So I was like, why am I going to pay $180 and all and hook this up so that I can have a picture of my post predominantly and then everything else around it?
So one of the other things that kind of appealed to me that I saw is sitting on Mr. Chris Farrell's desk right now. It's a Elgato.
Lollipops?
Yes, it's a lollipop. Oh. It's a lolly. It's the Elgato Stream Deck. Right now, to do all of this stuff, I have hotkeys. I really like my setup. I think it's quite flexible because of the fact that it's so programmable, my keyboard. But I've actually done some research, and there's a couple of ways I could use the Stream Deck controller. It's basically a controller for a bunch of different things, and I could use that in combination with my keyboard to really, really just make it a super easy way to do this show and do other stuff and some editing. You can even time in that way if you really wanted to. But it was $129. I said, Steven, behave. You shouldn't do it. But usually I think up here run for over $200. I think it's like $250. But $129, I was very tempted. And I again, talked myself out of it because things work fine just the way that they are right now. But really good deal for that. So it's, I think, a good example of there was some decent deals on Prime Day.
Yeah, we had the same deal here in North America. The Elgato Stream Deck, which if you're watching the video, I'm holding up mine that's turned on, is normally $150, and they had it down to $100 as part of the Prime Day discount. And if you'd been in the market for one, it's a really cool one. I've seen people that do video editing where some folks have like 3 Stream Decks on their desk, which all have different functions. This one's for Photoshop. This one's for this one. So they can just be going around doing everything. So I think it's a great device. I use it for all of my streaming. Steven, I know it worked for your stuff, but if you've got a setup that works well, that's great. Mine was hacked together in the past and was using an external number pad key, running scripts in the background to make it do the stuff I wanted. And it didn't always work 100% right. Whereas the Stream Deck, I think I've talked about on this show before, does everything I want at the press of a button 9 times out of 10. The only exception is there's still weird issues where it doesn't like to stay logged into Mixer sometimes. I don't know why.
Weird. I'm sure it'll all get fixed with time.
I think it's probably Microsoft's fault, in all honesty.
How dare they?
Some people would argue it's not necessarily a bad thing that it makes you re-authenticate on a fairly regular basis, so that if you left your computer unattended, someone can go on there and take over your Twitch or your Mixer stream very easily. So maybe it's a feature, not a bug.
I've actually seen that with XSplit and Facebook Live. I've had to reauthorize a couple times on that. The other thing that caught my attention with Amazon Prime Day that I definitely wasn't going to because it would just be a silly use of money when I have to feed 2 kids is they had a bit of a deal. They had $25 off that awesome Infinity Gauntlet toy, the one that's usually 150 Canadian. I don't know what it is down there, but the good looking one, and it was on for 124. I was very tempted.
I didn't even see it on sale on ours. I would have been considering it if it were something that was slightly affordable on it. But thank goodness it wasn't, because I don't need that temptation in my life.
Chris, what else tempted you?
So there's a few other things we haven't talked about. One of which was I've talked about on here and on other shows. I do have gotten back into playing Pokemon Go a lot. And I'm sure Suncast can attest to this fact. Pokemon Go is a battery hog on your devices. So it's not unheard of that you go out to go Pokemon hunting in an afternoon and take a couple battery packs with you to recharge. I missed it and got waitlisted, but Anker, who is a company I've bought battery packs from before in the past, had a large capacity backup battery with USB-C. You could both charge with it and then charge your devices with USB-C that went on sale, and I missed it, got waitlisted, and the waitlist time just ran out, so I was unable to get one. But that was something I was really going for because my Pixel buddy can attest to this. There's not a lot of things that charge directly with USB-C. So right now, my current use case when I'm going out and playing is my battery pack that goes USB-A to USB-C to charge my phone. And it's not exactly fast, where if I was going USB-C to USB-C, much quicker recharge time. But I missed out on that one. I'm bummed.
I actually specifically didn't go back and look at the stuff I missed out on. I was so frustrated with the Amazon issue at the front, and I know there are some good deals there up front. Is there anything else that you were tempted by?
So there's a few other things I was tempted by. We already talked about the Ring Doorbell Pro. Steven brought that one up. So like I mentioned there, I was tempted by it. I was also tempted by the TicWatch E and the TicWatch S. They're Android Wear devices made by Mobvoi, the same company I told you guys about that makes the TicPod headphones that I backed on Kickstarter. They were 30% off. So you could get a decent Android Wear watch for like $110. I just decided I was going to wait because my Huawei watch seems to be working to do what I want it to. And there's a rumor that Google is going to put out a Pixel version of an Android Wear device and then potentially make some tweaks that would make the platform more robust again. So really, I'm kind of just waiting to see what Google does with Android Wear before I make a decision as to whether I'm going to continue supporting Android Wear devices. We talked about also Fire TV 4K was down to $34.99, normally like $79.99. I was sorely tempted. I just don't need it because all of the Rokus in my house are working properly. So I don't need it, but I kind of wanted to just go back and explore the Fire TV ecosystem again. But again, the catch for me is the lack of YouTube is difficult for me. I could put it on like the TV I have in my kitchen. It wouldn't be a big deal. But I don't need a 4K streaming box in there because that's a 19-inch 720p TV in there. So that's complete overkill. I didn't go and do that.
Right.
And then the last one, which I'm still kind of considering, I'm on the fence, I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, is we've mentioned before, I've got Echo devices littered all across my house. The Echo Show is down to $129.99 brand new if you want to buy it right now. So that's $100 off. But if you buy one of the Amazon warehouse deals of them, that means one that was returned that they fixed, or one that might be pre-owned, you can get one for $95 right now. And I'm going, for $95, do I want to try the Echo Show and put that in my kitchen and move that place to another location, or that Echo to another location? I'm going, I'm seriously considering it. I just don't need it. So I'm kind of hoping that my self-preservation holds and I don't buy it because I'm pretty happy with my setup right now. I'm super tempted right now, I'll be honest, because for $95, I don't think I'm going to find it cheaper anytime soon. It's just, I don't think I would really make use of the video component on enough to make a difference. It'd just be kind of cool to be able to look and be like, oh, that's what this song is, or oh, hey, here's my calendar. Okay.
Will you make yourself try on different dresses? Would you do that feature?
Well, that's a different Amazon device.
Oh, I thought that was that one.
No, that's I can't remember what that one is. That's
The
a different
fashion?
camera thing. That's whatever the fashion one is. I can't remember. The Echo Show is the one that basically looks like a tablet.
Echo Look.
Oh, the look.
Yeah, look is what you're thinking of.
Oh, well, that's a shame. That's complete. I'm okay, crazy. Anyways, do it. I didn't know what it was, but I say do it. I definitely think you should do it.
I'm considering it. We'll see. It's going to be on sale through tomorrow. So if I'm weak tomorrow or tomorrow's a bad day at work, I might use money to make myself feel better about my crappy day at work.
Oh, Suncast, were you tempted by a fruit of another?
There was a few things there. That Stream Deck was a pretty good deal, and I've looked at it before, and it's like, oh man, I would love one of those. I still just can't justify the cost for the amount of use that I would probably get out of it. It's really cool though, and I really wish that Elgato would actually respond to the guys at vMix and make it work natively with vMix.
Right.
I think that would just be absolutely killer if it worked natively with vMix. There was also the Amazon Fire TV, which I had my parents buy because they've got an old Roku. And then there was a nice deal on the Hue white and ambient bulb, or a color ambience bulb, which is pretty cool. You could get one for $37. So if you're into like smart home stuff and you wanted something that was, that you could have like the Hue color bulbs, but you also wanted the white color and it was dimmable, $37 for a Hue bulb that does all that. That is cheap.
Yeah, that is cheap. I will say that there are some, if you've already got like Wink or even some Wi-Fi bulbs now, there are getting to be some inexpensive alternatives, but Hue has remained to be expensive, probably because they are pretty well built. I did have a problem with mine, I will say that, but they were very quick to get on it and send me out another one, and it was a pretty easy process overall, and I've read really good things about their whole support process, so I do think that they are of better quality than some of these more inexpensive products, and they don't really go on sale very much. And I agree that I think there's some good deals for sure on that sort of stuff. Was there anything else that tempted you?
I'm still looking at that Fire TV stick for myself. $20.
You and I are going to end up with the Elgato by the end of tomorrow, aren't we?
I'll tell you what, guys. If you guys buy Elgatos, I'll buy an Echo Show. There you go. The gauntlet is laid.
Fair enough. Well, I also created a WTF category. I know Chris and Suncast didn't put anything in this one, but I thought I would quickly talk about a couple WTF moments. Number one was the fact that Blue Yetis are back. Those of you who aren't familiar with Blue Yetis, they are a type of microphone. They're a microphone that's been around for a very long time. They're widely popular because they were the easiest way to do home-based, simple podcasting for a very long time. And then there's a lot of better products since, but they often don't sound very good because people don't set them up right, because they are really hard to get configured right where you want to have them. Chris did use one for a very long time, but night and day difference with the equipment that you switch to afterwards, in my opinion. But they're back again, full swing, and this time there was the WTF moment was that there was 3 different colors of this microphone available. There was a lunar gray, a silver, and a copper for $99 Canadian.
Ooh. They did this last year too.
Yeah, they did. My other WTF moment was actually a disappointment for me. It was the Xbox One S bundle. Last year, I regretted my decision. There was a really good Xbox One S bundle that was there, and I pulled the trigger on it, but minutes too late. And it was a really, really good deal, and I never saw anything anywhere close to it since. It had like 3 games involved. It had a 3-month subscription. It had a Kinect. It had 2 controllers. The only deal that's been on there so far, unless I'm proven wrong in the next 24 hours, is an Xbox One S starter bundle, 1 terabyte, which only has 1 controller, a 3-month Game Pass, and a Rare Replay. You get a download of Rare Replay, which is a game apparently. For $2.99 Canadian, this bundle is usually listed at $3.79, and it's really not that great of a deal because I've seen better deals at Costco. I've seen better deals on Boxing Day or Black Friday. So I was a little let down with that. I was genuinely considering buying one. My kid's really into gaming right now, figuring things out that are well above his skill level. So I'm happy to actually encourage it because I think that it's actually helping him because he's figuring out these things that you're supposed to be reading, but he's having to figure it out because he can't read it. So I was very tempted. And then my last WTF moment was that there was this awesome deal, and you can just go ahead and Google this if you'd like. It's a 5 billion hand-gripped strengthener. It's a
Look at this.
5 billion hand grip strengthener. It's basically rubber bands that you put your fingers in and you strengthen your hand. It's for
I need this.
So apparently that was a lightning deal, which as we record this, there's 2 hours left and there's only 18% claimed. So obviously not a popular product, but yeah, apparently that was a deal.
I don't know why people would waste money on something like this. Like, it's literally a waste of money.
It's like rubber bands, except different. It's pretty much the same thing. So those were my WTF moments, but I will say that there was one thing that I was trying to fit in, and since we're trying to convince Chris to buy himself an Echo an Echo Show, somebody convinced me why I would want an Echo Spot, because the Echo Spots were on sale up here. No, you can't. And I was looking at it and I'm like, I feel like I want to have this because of its design, but yeah, I couldn't justify it. So nobody can convince me here to buy an Echo Spot.
I don't understand it to begin with, let alone with the price they put out, even the discounted price has me go, no.
Remind me what the Echo Spot is again, because they have so many Echo versions now that I can't keep track.
Chris, you describe it.
So it's basically the one, if you take a look at like a smartwatch, it's basically something that's like a little smartwatch you can put on your bedside table that has a small color display, a camera, and a speaker in it so that you can have an Echo device that is tiny. It can be put somewhere. I don't see the need for it. It's a mini version of the Echo Show, basically.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, then let's end on something that we do know was a missed opportunity. We'll call it hashtag missed opportunities. And I don't know if it was down there, but I thought of Suncast immediately when I saw this one. And it's that there was a sale on candy, gum, and mints. That's right. That was one of the featured categories on Amazon.ca today. You had all sorts of options on Lifesaver gummies, on sours, on Frisk, on Mentos. But yes, that was a genuinely featured category on Amazon Prime Day this year.
I didn't see any lollipops there.
There was a whole other page, so I'm sure there must have been.
Lifesaver gummies are really good.
Yeah, but just so we know, that's the level of Prime deals this year. Gummies.
Well, let's be honest though. The last few Prime deals have been, especially year one, it was all a bunch of junk. Amazon puts some good stuff there, predominantly their Amazon branded stuff, but everything else is let's clear off the warehouse shelves.
Yeah, except for the Amazon stuff, like you said. I think that was the real golden opportunity here.
There's some diamonds in the rough, like we talked about the Elgato Stream Deck and things like that. There's some really good stuff sprinkled in there with, hey, we've got a bunch of backlog crap we need to get rid of. Let's make it cheap and hope people want to get it. Hence, like your finger strengthener that nobody really wants, but if you put it on sale, even if it's on sale for like 8% off, someone's like, ooh, it's a sale and there's only a little bit of time left. I got to get me one of them.
Yeah. There's one thing, though, that's a practical purchase that I'll probably end up doing, and it's that the cat food that my cat eats is on sale for quite a good deal. It's about $18 off for a big bag. So
same with the Greenies dog treats.
So there you go.
You know who would buy that finger strengthener thing?
Andrew's area.
JS.
Oh, JS. So if you had fun with Amazon Prime deals, or if you're listening to this because we released this after Prime Day and you're going, you guys are idiots, you missed out on day 2, which was the good day. Well, yes, just get in touch with us through any of the ways. You can always find us at Gonna Geek on Twitter. You can go ahead and hit us up at gonnageek.com if you'd like. Go on over to facebook.com/gonnageek. Or just send us a old email to show@gonnageek.com and tell us why Chris should have bought that Echo Show. See,
I'm
it's
telling
kind of meta.
If you guys go and get yourselves some Stream Decks, I'll buy me one so we can all have a brand new shiny acquisition to talk about in the upcoming weeks on the gonnageek.com show.
What if one of us buys it?
I will flip a coin then and decide.
I am super tempted because it really, I was thinking about getting a MIDI controller for editing. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I could probably do better with macros, keyboard combination macros And so I was going to go that way, but then it's like, I don't know. Then I could be like Chris Farrell. And who doesn't want to be like Chris Farrell?
You want to, Steven. You know you want to.
So anyways, you can go ahead and tell me why I was stupid for not buying that, because I'm sure I won't have bought it.
You still have time. See, Mike just bought a Stream Deck in the chat room.
That's right. If you want to head on over when we do record this on Mondays at 8:45 p.m. Eastern at www.geeks.live, there is a live chat. We do like to chat with you. And Mike Howard, he's known as JPEG Draw. He just said that he just bought the Stream Deck. Mike, I think it's a really good purchase. I do have, like, honestly, I believe that I have an easier system right now with the way that I have my keyboard set up for my purposes, but for most people, the Stream Deck is just so straightforward. It's shinier, it's easier, plus you don't need a stupid, overly complicated keyboard like I have. So I think that it's a solid purchase. I think that it's a great idea, and who knows, maybe I'll have one next week when we record. Who knows? But
I think you should.
Suncast,
I think so.
Before we close up, I want to give you a moment here to plug or promote and do whatever you would like to do. Tell everybody where they can find you on a regular basis, aside from in the park with candy.
That is my go-to. You can check out the GFQ network. We post a bunch of podcasts over there. We have The Bald Truth, which is a hair loss talk show. I know a lot of people suffer from hair loss, and we have a show that tries to help you out as best as they can. We have a wrestling show called Mat Men on GFQ, and I think our big show, What the Tech, with Paul Thurrott, is also at gfqnetwork.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Sunkast. It's spelled with a K and not a C. With a K, not a C.
That's right.
How's my hose reel spelled?
With a C.
That's disappointing. I wanted you to be my new hose reel.
Well, we could change that C to a K on your hose reel with a little bit of modeling cement, probably, and some paint.
Chris, do you have anything that you want to plug or promote?
Just a friendly reminder, you guys. You guys do know the Gonna Geek Show is obviously part of the Gonna Geek Network. There is a ton of stuff that streams live on geeks.live. If you're watching this show, you're there right now. But hey, the nice thing is we've got content on there at least 3-4 other days out of the week. So if you head to the bottom of geeks.live, you'll see a calendar that shows you all the other days there is live streaming content. So please feel free to drop in, watch some quality live geeky content. And at the very least, if you just want some fun stuff to watch, even when there aren't things live, there is the simulated live channel that is going. This is replaying all of the old shows on the network. So you can go and catch some stuff you might have missed. Seriously, we got a lot of fun stuff you guys should be checking out.
And you should remember that, because it can be super meta when you send Chris an email to show@gonnageek.com. And then next week, he's going to talk about his Echo show. And then you're going to go watch the show replay at geeks.live. And it's all going to happen. This is going to be so meta. So
mind-blowing.
Yes.
Mind-blowing.
Also, I just want to let everybody know that there are a lot of shows on the network that don't stream live. Like, absolutely, there are a lot that don't stream live too. And if you want to check those out, you can at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. One example of this is On the Bubble Podcast. On the Bubble Podcast is a fun podcast that looks at shows that are on the bubble, basically on the brink of being canceled or were canceled. And in episode 25 of On the Bubble, Sleepy Hollow, the campaign to save Fox's Sleepy Hollow, Josh shares some of the thoughts and feelings from Sleepy Hollow fans about where the show went wrong in season 2 and how it eventually redeemed itself with a strong season 3 and 4. So check this out if you're a Sleepy Hollow fan at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. But that is the end. So for episode 247 of the official GonnaGeek.com show, I'm Stephen John Drew saying, I have no willpower. I'm probably going to buy it.
I'm Chris Farrell saying, if these guys buy, I'll buy too.
Look, just understand, I'm on a roll like Continental.
I think some of that was on sale too.
It probably was.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out another episode of the official GonnaGeek.com show. If you like the show, please give us a 5-star review in Apple Podcasts or a thumbs up on YouTube. You can always join us for our live recording sessions, which stream Mondays at 8:45 p.m. Eastern at www.geeks.live. And remember, you can find our full back catalog at gonnageek.com/show. If you're itching for more geeky content, check out other shows on gonnageeknetwork.com. Voice work was by Emily Prokop of the Story Behind podcast. That's it for this episode. We hope to see you back again next week.